preciousness of it, its qualities.
Yeah.
Right? So the gem's quality is being precious, beautiful, shining. So diamond is another name for it.
Yeah.
But these are the adjectives. Shining or beautiful or preciousness. So that's why the triple gem is known as Zen. Okay?
Known as what?
Gem.
Gem.
Yeah. So, why Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is precious? So that's the second question. Precious. Why these three are precious?
Because you need all three to work together.
To find the right path.
Preciousness. Okay?
We could also lose it if it wasn't kept, like yourself, people ordaining, becoming monks and delivering the Dhamma talk. So it's precious, but you need all three elements of it.
Okay? So, now it is precious because it teaches us to end the suffering. And it is precious because once we have taken on board, it won't take us to the downfall. And it is also precious that once you have it, no one can steal it.
Oh, okay.
That's why it is called Zem, the precious one. Okay? So, let's read in the book. What does it say? Number 1, Buddha. Okay, Gavin?
Buddha, the enlightened one whose teachings guide us towards the end of suffering. In brackets, Buddha is the honorific term for one who has gained supreme wisdom and enlightenment. When we speak of the Buddha, we mean the historical Buddha of our era.
Okay, so there are 3 things to remember here about the Buddha. Number 1, teaches towards the end.
End of suffering.
Suffering. Number 2, Buddha is a title. Number 3, historical Buddha.
Number 3 is what, sorry?
Historical Buddha. Historical, okay? So teaches end of a suffering, which is easy to understand. If there is no question. There is no question on that. And the title, the second one, the word Buddha itself is a title. Remember that it's a title. One person who has attained the enlightenment, that person is known as the Buddha. So that's why that's a title. A knower, an enlightened one.
Can I ask a question? When you become enlightened, or a Buddha, is it not then your time to pass away?
No. That's a different concept. Now, if we look at from, let's say, Abrahamical religion, like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or even like Hinduism, the moment when you died or resurrect, then you will be finished. So you will be reunited with so-called the God. And that's how it's been taught. And you have to die.
Yeah.
Whereas in Buddhism, the Buddha's concept that the moment when you become enlightened, you're not dead yet. It's not about dying.
Oh, okay.
Enlightenment is not about dying. It's about understanding.
Right, okay.
And it's about the uprooting the greed, hatred and delusion in a nutshell. Okay? And after that, whatever action that person does, that person's action becomes functional.
Come what, sorry?
Functional. Functioning only. Doesn't have a reaction.
Ah, right, okay.
So there is an action, the karma there.
I've never heard of that word before.
Yeah, so it's called the Kiriya Chitta. So you act, but it doesn't have a reaction to follow.
Yeah. But if you're enlightened, you're
Yes,
not
you
going
just
to be...
do with
Yeah.
just to keep the body going
Yeah.
and keep the duty go on.
Okay.
The each actions is not manifestate due to the
Yeah.
greed, hatred and delusion.
Mm.
But it's just an act of a doing, and that act of a doing with act of a kindness and compassion.
Yes.
So that's why it doesn't have reactions.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not about the death. Enlightenment is not about the death or you have to die. No. Enlightenment is just like a flicking moment. You just got enlightened, but you still can live for a long time. Like the Buddha, he attained the Buddhahood at the age of 35.
Yeah.
Then he is known as the Buddha. Okay? And after that, how many years he lived? 45 years.
Yeah.
So he lived more than when he attained the enlightenment. Okay? So that's why the enlightenment in a Buddhist concept is not about the death. But once you die, there won't be reborn.
Yeah.
There is no flame or there is no wax that will continue burning again. That just ends there. So that is enlightenment.
Thank you.
Right? So that's the Buddha. Now when we say historical Buddha, it's very specifically used, the word historical. Yeah? So that defines that there are many Buddhas.
Yeah.
Because it's been titled. Like there are many doctors. After you have completed your studies, then you are known as a doctors. So that's a title. Whoever has completed, they are known as that. So the Buddha also, there are many Buddhas who have attained the Buddhahood or enlightenment. So that's why the Buddha, there are 3 different types of the Buddhas. I think I have mentioned a couple of times. Number one, enlightened Buddha. Or it's called a self-enlightened Buddha. Number 2, silent Buddha. And number 3, Savaka Buddha.
What's the last one, sorry?
Savaka, or disciples.
Oh, okay.
So these disciples, those who have heard the teachings of the self-enlightened Buddhas. And they, after following the teachings, they also become enlightened. Now the silent Buddha are somebody, they are also enlightened, but they won't teach you. So they are independent and they do not teach, and they just remain where whatever time length he has and just disappears like that. Here again, if there is a self-enlightened Buddha, then there won't be a silent Buddha. As long as the enlightened Buddha's teaching prevail, they won't be here. So from 2569 years of time that the self-enlightened Buddha who passed away, until now there are no silent Buddhas yet, because his teachings still continued. Okay? Now when we talk about the historical Buddha, then we have to think about the Buddha who was born in Lumbini and enlightened Buddha Gaya, and then passed away Kushinagar. So this one 2569 years ago, and then plus 45 plus 35, then how many years? So this is the year. That's the Buddha we are talking about in the context when we say triple Zen. We're not talking about silent Buddhas. We're not talking about Savaka Buddhas or disciples. Okay? Another word is called Anu-Buddha. Anu-Buddha. So Anu-Buddha means all the disciples during the time of the Buddha who were enlightened. Okay? So that is the historical Buddha. And we take a refuge on this historical Buddha.
Right, okay.
Okay? So we become a disciple of this historical Buddha, not the silent Buddha, nor the Anu-Buddhas. So we are disciples of the self-enlightened Buddha who was born in Lumbini, current day in Nepal. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
If you are following the Dhamma or the Triple Gem, doesn't that say to share the teaching? So why would you become silent?
Good question. But it's just a matter that there are, I don't know the answer, but in my understanding that they just felt that it's so subtle and so deep that people would not accept or would not understand.
Okay.
So rather than teaching, I better just meditate and disappear. Like that. Okay? So that's the Buddha that we are talking about. So, and we take the refuge on this Buddha. So when we say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, I take a refuge, the Buddha, then we are talking about the historical Buddha who was born in Lumbini in current day Nepal and, as a prince, and lived for 29 years, gave up a palace for 6 years and becoming enlightened, and after that spent 45 years teaching and passed on his teachings up to now. That's the Buddha. Anything? Anybody?
Probably, it's just a question, I'm not sure if it relates to that specifically, but as things change and evolve with time, as a monk yourself, do you think that some of that should evolve? The teachings?
Teachings, similes and the way of the transmission may be different.
Yeah.
But because the teachings are so core, and it's that's why it's called akaliko, timeless.
Yes.
It doesn't matter which age we are in, which era you are in. It's like a universal facts. Like the dukkha, the suffering, same when we were during the time of the Buddha and now.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the three characteristics, the anicca, dukkha, anatta,
Yeah.
Then again, then, now, and will be.
Yeah.
There won't be changes. Only the difference would be how we interpret
Yes.
and how we use the similes to convey the message.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It is like reading the books, isn't it? The similes from evolving as a Western person, reading that.
Yeah. But the core is still
Yeah.
the same. That's why the Buddha's teachings is known as akaliko.
Okay.
It's a timeless. You cannot, somebody may want to debate. How would you debate on things impermanent? How would you debate the suffering, getting old suffering, getting sickness is suffering, we have to die is suffering.
I think I've answered my own question from you listening to you just there. It's the interpretation of the thing, because essentially it works and I see it's there, so why change it? But it's the interpretation.
Yeah. So we cannot ask why I can't be not get old. What a silly question it would be. And the Buddha is not there to not let us to be old. The Buddha's teaching is not about after you have studied my teaching, you will be young forever. Not like that. After you have worshipped me 1,000 times, you will not be dying. Not like that. So it's more of like the core teachings.
Yeah.
It's not giving you a false hope. So that's why the Dhamma, the way of transmitting or the way of conveying the message may be different, but the core is still, which you may be able to notice. Suppose a traditional monk, not me, a traditional monk is giving you lectures, giving you talks, and then he will be speaking in a more traditional way, and it seems like very dry. Doesn't make sense to me, and I can't relate to it. So with that, it's like it's not my cup of tea. And it's just like airy fairy. There's like alien things happening in front of me. So why should I? Not like that. Whereas someone who has lived in the community and understood at least a basic level of how people think, how people live, how people behave, then there will be different way of transmitting, speaking, the same but in a different forms. Like so actually now this is the Dhamma. That's why it's universal. It's like the moment when we question on that, it's like we are basically demonstrating that how ignorant I am. It doesn't mean that you can't question. You can. It's not like completely what's called you should avoid questioning. Not like that. You can, but that basically demonstrates that I haven't understood it yet.
I think it's from reading some of the canonical texts, and it is ignorance, because I'm like, I'd have to Google something. I'm like, what does that mean? And it all comes down to interpretation and ignorance.
So that's why the Dhamma. Now, Yvonne, would you like to read the Dhamma one?
Dhamma. Is it Dhamma?
Dhamma.
The Buddha's teachings, which guide us on the path to freedom from suffering. The two key aspects are: one, mindfulness cultivation, to see the truth of impermanence in all things, and two, not being attached to the delusion of the sense of self, me or mine. And Dhamma can also mean universal truths.
See, this is a universal truth. And this basically teaching that everything is impermanent and we cannot attach to it that I am, this is. So that's why that's the Dhamma. And that's why it is regarded as precious. precious.
Ah, precious. Okay.
Yeah, precious.
Yeah.
And this is the Dhamma that we take a refuge in. And here when we say take a refuge in, it's something like, as like a visual object who will be looking after us or who will be there to help us, some form of like that. That's the human perceptions that we have been taught in such a way. But here it's not about that. It's basically taking a refuge that, okay, I am going to follow these. So following it, I want to be in a darkness, not in a delusional state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Basically giving us a right direction how to follow.
I've just actually experienced that, yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay? So that's the Dhamma. Okay?
Yeah.
And here the Dhamma is something that the nature holds such way. The meaning is nature holds such way. That's why it is called the Dhamma. Right?
Nature holds what?
Nature holds such way. So it's in accordance with the nature. Right? That's why it's called the Dhamma. Now the Sangha, the third precious thing. Okay? So Sangha, okay, Kevin, would you like to read?
Sangha. The Sangha, strictly speaking, refers to the worldwide community of monks and nuns who faithfully study and practice the Buddhist teachings. Used less strictly, the term sometimes includes laymen and laywomen who follow the Buddhist teachings. Devoted Sangha members inspire us. They try to follow in the Buddha's footsteps and lead us by example.
So that's the Sangha. So here we have to remember the Sangha means the community. Okay, the basic translation of the word Sangha is a community. Community. Okay, and now when we talk about the community in Buddhism, we have four. Number one, monks. Number two, nun. Number three, male follower. I'm just giving you a basic translation, okay? Male, and then four female. Okay, so these four groups of people known as a community of Buddhists. So within that, all these known as the Sangha. If, okay, the Sangha, if they all have understood and are working towards the liberation. Now here, that's why it's called loosely, they also use the word Sangha. Okay? And here, when we are talking about the Sangha, we always remember that in our tradition, we will not say Sangha community as all four. So whenever we say Sangha community, that means either the monk alone, either the nun alone, or both. Okay, either the three ways. And that is called the Sangha. Okay? And the Sangha, we take a refuge on the Sangha simply as teacher.
As what, sorry?
Teachers.
Okay, yeah.
One who is following the teachings that taught by the Buddha. Okay? Taught by the Buddha. Not any other Dhammas. Because sometimes people say that, oh, my teacher says so. My teacher was practicing in that way. My teacher practiced in such a way. So I will practice in such a way. Then we may call ourselves as Buddhists, but we are not exactly following the Buddha's principles. Because our teachers are not enlightened.
Yeah.
They may have some deceptions, and then the way they think that is fit for them and saying that that's true. And if that carries on, then rather than following the right path, we are off track. Right? So that's very important. So that's why, although we take refuge on the monks and the nuns, that's why I specifically said we take a refuge on an enlightened Sangha. Okay? We take a refuge in enlightened Sangha. So that's why in the Sangha it comes two forms now. The Sangha comes two forms. One, enlightened, and second one, conventional. Practitioner or novice Sangha. Okay? Like me, novice Sangha, not enlightened Sangha. Working towards it, but haven't enlightened yet. They're living in living example, but not enlightened yet. Okay? So that's why the Sangha also have two forms, and we take a refuge on enlightened one. Okay? So this is the set of three. The first set of the three triple gem, and we will end here. Okay? So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's prepare for the chanting.
Tao nghĩ đi, lòng, thật, đây được.